Welcome to Air Crash Investigation Stories. If you are passionate about aviation and want to know the real stories behind the world's deadliest air disasters, then make sure to subscribe to our channel, like this video, and press the bell icon so you never miss an update. Today, we bring you the story of the deadliest single aircraft accident in aviation history, the tragic crash of Japan Airlines Flight 123. The beginning of the flight. It was August 12, 1985. A hot summer day in Tokyo, Japan. Japan Airlines Flight 123, a Boeing 747 SR-46, prepared to depart from Tokyo's Haneda Airport on its short, domestic flight to Osaka's Itami Airport. This was one of the busiest routes in Japan, and the aircraft was packed with passengers heading home, business travelers and families on vacation. In total, 524 people were on board, 509 passengers, and 15 crew members. The aircraft, registered J8119, had been in service for several years and was a special, short-range version of the Boeing 747, built for high-density seating to carry more passengers on short domestic routes. At 6:12 p.m. local time, the jumbo jet lifted off from Tokyo, beginning what was supposed to be a routine, one-hour flight to Osaka. But just 12 minutes after takeoff, disaster struck. The catastrophic failure. At 6:24 p.m., a loud explosion rocked the rear of the aircraft. The plane had suffered a massive structural failure due to a faulty repair made years earlier. 7 years before this flight, the same aircraft had experienced a tail strike accident during landing. Boeing technicians carried out repairs on the pressure bulkhead, but the job was not done properly. Instead of using a single continuous doubler plate, they used two separate pieces with insufficient rivets. This mistake would prove deadly. The catastrophic failure. At 6:24 p.m., a loud explosion rocked the rear of the aircraft. The plane had suffered a massive structural failure due to a faulty repair made years earlier. 7 years before this flight, the same aircraft had experienced a tail strike accident during landing. Boeing technicians carried out repairs on the pressure bulkhead, but the job was not done properly. Instead of using a single continuous doubler plate, they used two separate pieces with insufficient rivets. This mistake would prove deadly. On this evening in 1985, the faulty repair finally gave way. The rear pressure bulkhead ruptured, causing an explosive decompression that tore off the entire vertical stabilizer, the tail of the aircraft. Even worse, the force of the blast severed all 4 hydraulic systems, leaving the plane without any functioning flight controls. A struggle to survive. The cockpit crew, led by Captain Masami Takahama, with First Officer Yutaka Sasaki and Flight Engineer Hiroshi Fukuda, suddenly found themselves facing the impossible. With no hydraulics, the 747 could not be controlled in the normal way. The yokes and pedals were useless. The massive jetliner began to oscillate violently, climbing and diving uncontrollably. The pilots tried everything. Using engine thrust, they attempted to steer the aircraft, but the damage was too severe. For the next 32 minutes, Flight 123 remained in the air, circling mountainous terrain, with the crew desperately trying to stabilize it. Inside the cabin, passengers were terrified. Oxygen masks dropped, but many failed to work properly. Some passengers managed to write farewell notes to loved ones, knowing their chances of survival were slim. The final moments. At 6:56 p.m., after half an hour of desperate struggle, the crippled Boeing 747 crashed into the mountains of Mount Takamagahara, about 100 kilometers from Tokyo. The impact was devastating. Out of the 524 people on board, 520 lost their lives. Only 4 passengers survived, all seated in the rear of the aircraft. It was not only the deadliest accident in Japan's aviation history, but also the deadliest single aircraft crash the world has ever seen. Rescue and aftermath. Tragically, investigations later revealed that as many as 20 to 50 people may have survived the initial crash, but died while waiting for rescue. Delays in Japan's search and rescue response meant it took hours before help arrived. The cause of the disaster was traced back to improper maintenance by Boeing after the 1978 tail strike. The faulty repair ultimately led to the pressure bulkhead's failure and the destruction of the tail section. This accident shook Japan and the aviation world. It raised questions about aircraft maintenance, safety standards, and emergency response times. Legacy and lessons learned. The crash of Japan Airlines Flight 123 forced the aviation industry to re-examine safety and maintenance practices. With 520 lives lost, it remains the world's deadliest single aircraft disaster, a tragedy that changed aviation forever. Thank you for watching Air Crash Investigation Stories. If you found this video informative, please subscribe to our channel, like this video, and share it with others. And don't forget to click the bell icon, so you never miss our next story about aviation. History's most unforgettable disasters. Stay safe and we'll see you in the next video.